Everybody, thanks for watching. Just a quick reminder that the flash drive sale is still available. Same price. Also, it still comes with a Never Pay Again membership. Make sure you guys take advantage. Receive your emails. I kept the sale going. Going to try to keep it going for the rest of the month. So make sure you guys take advantage of the sale. It's a lot of people who asked about it. And as I said, if enough people send emails, I'll keep it going. I appreciate everybody for the support and everything. It's a lot that's coming up that I'm going to be putting out. So make sure you guys grab the flash drive. Also, make sure you guys grab the Mystery School Volume 8 and see this video. It's a really good video. Make sure you guys see it. That is also available and will be on the flash drive if you order the flash drive, but you can also get it on Podia. It is also on Merkabah Academy. So make sure you guys go there and check it out. So again, if you guys are looking for new videos, they will always be available on your link that you get from Podia as well as on Merkabah Academy. So again, if you got the Never Pay Again membership, that link that you got for Podia, whenever a new video comes out, you can go back to that same link and download the new video. It will be there in your Never Pay Again link. So all those videos, you can just scroll through them and you'll see the new videos when they come out. Or you can go on Merkabah Academy and see them and download them from Never Pay Again membership section. So yes, a lot of new videos coming out. So make sure you guys grab the flash drive with the Never Pay Again membership. This way you won't have to buy each video, you'll get them for free, and whatever time you buy it, the new video will be on the flash drive. So for Merkabah, so yes, a lot of new videos coming up, a lot of new DVDs coming up. So yeah, there's a lot of new videos coming up. So make sure you guys grab the flash drive with the Never Pay Again membership. That way you won't have to buy each video. Once you get Never Pay Again membership, those new videos will be free. You won't have to pay for them. Again, appreciate the support. Let's get into this video. So yeah, a lot of debate on the last video I put out, or the video before last, I should say, just getting into who was here first. And of course, people are going to go to mainstream media's explanation of how we got here, evolution. And this is supposed to be a Christian country or what have you, but it's crazy how much they put, into evolution. I don't think it's really that many sane people walking around thinking that, God made Adam from the dust of the ground and, pulled a woman from his rib. And that's how we hear. Like, people don't really believe that, at least in the scientific community, which is why the church has a big problem with science. It just don't make sense. But it's looking at who was here and who established what. And that's the problem. They don't want to give us credit for what we established and where we were before they even existed. And there's a big difference between discovery and conquest. And that's the big elephant in the room that they don't want to admit to because of, all the implications and what it says about them as a people. But this is fucking elephant in the room. Like, stop playing. You see it. You know what it is. You sitting there and you can't be proud of how you came or obtained this country. So I had a lot of people hit me up, a lot of white folks hit me up, people who watch and had issues with, that video, just talking truth. And it's nothing to be, upset about. It's what white scholars wrote as well, as far as who was here and history and what happened. So history shows you, and, everybody know this country was conquered by the Europeans, and every country that the Europeans occupy was conquered by the Europeans. They are not original to none of those countries. This is why Farrakhan said, y'all keep telling us to go back to Africa or go back to our country. But if somebody said to you, go back to your country, you want to have no place to go. Where would you go? Plain and simple, because everywhere you are on this planet, you conquered your way if you are running the place. So no, this is not hate speech or anything like that. This is facts. I have no problem with nobody on this planet. Plain and simple. It is what it is. Truth is truth. And we are not the ones running around screaming, screaming things at white folks or any other race of people on this planet as far as this country goes. We have every right to, but we don't. We're not out there telling people to go back to nowhere. For what? That makes sense. So when you're real with yourself, you look at history, you can see what happened. You conquered your way into these places. So one of the biggest questions and things we got into, and I speak about this in many videos, is just understanding who is where and how they got there. So for, it's a lot of Hispanic people. And this is one of the things that I'm seeing. This, because I've been told this from multiple people, different races. And it gives you a window into what they think about us as Black people. And that's our fault, and it's not our fault. It's not our fault because of how the media portrays Black people and make us out to be just these violent, lazy people who just are only claim to fame is hip hop. Only claim to fame is sports. And you have everybody on the outside looking at this and saying the same thing. We depend. They really believe this. Understand? They really believe that we're depending on the white system, or we're trying to trick the white system. We're just lazy and we really just want to get over on the white system. That's one of the things. Another thing is that we didn't do anything. We didn't contribute to the world. This is one of the biggest debates that I get into, as far as, some people are just racist, but other people are just truly ignorant and they have no clue. So you look around at history and people believe we didn't do nothing, that we was brought here from savagery, from running around butt naked in the jungle, and was taught how to speak and write and everything, by the Europeans. They really believe this. And we owe our success today and everything we have today as Black people to the Europeans. And the reason why we are the way we are, because it's just the savagery in us that we can't get rid of. So this is one of the reasons why I speak to hip hop culture and everything, because they know what they're doing. They know how we look to the other races of people and what they say about us. So hip hop helps perpetuate that. So when everybody is saying we didn't do anything and we're just violent and what have you, and then our claim to fame is hip hop, our claim to fame is sports or what have you, and then you see our sports athletes walking around wanting to be thugs or what have you, and can't be civilized with millions of dollars. This is what they think about us. This is what people are talking about. So, it's huge debates on the whole Morant thing and him, wanting to be a gangster or what have you. And I talked about this online a couple of times, and, I just give you real quick my opinion on that. You can't put that shit all on him. You can't. I mean, it's crazy that, they want to put this whole thing on this dude for flashing a gun. Try to suspend this man for flashing a gun or what have you. And at the same time, they show Lil Wayne and all these other rappers on the Jumbotron on the big screen when they at the games. These same rappers who glorify and rap about killing Black people, selling drugs and doing crazy things, guns. So that's hip hop culture that is played at every basketball game. It's exploited to the fullest. It's entertainment for everybody. Hip hop culture, which hip hop culture talks about murdering, busting the cap in the nigga ass, killing the fool, selling drugs, Molly Percocet, whatever. Glorifying drugs, glorifying everything that's wrong with the Black community. But this dude flashes a gun and everybody want to bring shit down on him for flashing a gun. Yet the NBA is perpetuating hip hop culture because they know exactly what it's doing. It's a fine line these people walk, and they walk it well. And they know what's going on, but Black folks don't want to realize exactly what they're doing to us. But it's one of the things I see from, talking with a lot of people that's not Black and how they view, Black people. See, and a lot of times, like on social media, the real evil people, the real people who don't give a shit, they don't got no profile picture and they got a crazy name and they use social media to let out all their anger. They'll tell you how they feel. But when you get multiple people with that same MO saying the same shit, it tells you exactly what the thinking is amongst, ignorant racist people. So these people who don't understand, history, and don't understand their own history, culture, and where they came from, who's looking at the world today and thinking that it was this way, forever. It always been this way, that these groups of people been in the position they are in as a people, as far as existence one, and just, as where they are economically as a people. Some of the most racist people that I've spoken to are, Mexicans and Spanish people. And it's because they don't understand what's going on. And some this is why if you ever look, you can go look right now, and you can go look on a lot of applications, and you'll see that Puerto Ricans, Spanish people, are allowed to identify as Spanish and white or Spanish and black. It's not worded exactly like that, if I remember, but they can choose to identify as Hispanic or Spanish, Hispanic black, or Hispanic white. Think about that. So which one would you choose to identify yourself as? And a lot of them choose to identify themselves as white. And on the application, I don't blame them for doing that. But this is the thing. You got to know history, understand how you came to be, especially before you call black people what you call them and put us down for what we've been put through. And again, like I said, we are to blame for our situation in a lot of ways, but largely not. Largely not. It's largely not our fault. And there's so many reasons I can just say that that's going to be beyond people's understanding. Well, we're not going to get into all that right now. But to understand, where everybody comes from, and I talk about this in many videos, especially for Spanish people, you got to understand what Spanish is. Spanish is a Romanist language. You guys heard me talk about this before. Spanish is a Romanist language, meaning your ancestors came from Rome or Spain, which you might as well say Rome, because before they came to Spain, they came from Rome. So right now, the white folks that's populating Spain today are the descendants of Romans. Spain was conquered by the Romans. The Romans sent the Arabs in there to conquer it for them, and they came over and populated the place that was previously occupied by the Moors, by black people. Black people was in Spain first. That's already documented fact. So you had Rome come in, take over, and I talked about this with Ferdinand and Isabella. They was on the throne, and they sent Columbus over there to basically, keep an eye or work for Ferdinand and Isabella. They are the ones who sent Columbus out on his journey with orders from Rome. And, this is what was going on around that time. You had Vasco da Gama and all these other Spanish conquistadors, conquerors, and all these people going out there and conquering lands that belong to black people, to African dark-skinned people. And the Taino, which is in South America, is the indigenous people of what we call Puerto Rico today, what we call Dominican Republic, the Caribbean. It was all Taino. This is documented. This is who you see in those Columbus photos of them slaughtering and hanging those people. Hanging people by the 13s to basically celebrate, Jesus and the disciples, asking them to convert, and when they didn't, they was killed. They brutally massacred those people. Sick dogs on them, had dogs rip them apart, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So the Taino were black, dark-skinned people, and they almost wiped them out completely, to the point to where they had to bring Africans over into South America or into Puerto Rico, what have you, to help them with the plantations there, with the sugar processing and so on and so forth. And of course, they raped these people and they mixed with these people. The so-called Spanish or Romans, they came in and they mixed with these people, and this is how we get the Dominicans and Puerto Ricans we see today. So no matter how you slice it, how you want to look at it, we know Africans was here first. It's already a proven fact. The thing is, what they do is they don't see anything. They don't see anything. They say, well, Africans existed on all these places, and how come there's nothing there? How long y'all been here and nothing is done? There's no buildings, no structures, or what have you. So they look at this and say, we didn't do anything, because they don't understand what happened and what took place and how it was a massive cover-up. Plain and simple. Well, we already know for Africa what took place. The ruins are still there. The ruins of those African kingdoms are still there. They still exist. You can go ahead and Google and look up kingdoms in Africa or castles in Africa, and you see how many castles was there, and that the whole notion of a king or royal family existed long before European royal families. That Africans had royal families and kingdoms long before the Europeans. And if mainstream media is not going to talk about this, you're not going to know unless you go and do the research, which is what's happening. They're looking at what's being promoted and put out there to show the Europeans in a positive light and make us look bad. And they're going off of that history instead of looking into history for themselves and seeing, well, wait a minute, Africans was here all this time. What did they do? And there's more than enough proof out there to show you what we did and show you what was taken from us. Now, if you really want to look and count, you can just Google things that black people invented and see for yourself. All the inventions, so many inventions that were stolen from black people, so many things that we invented that we are not given a credit for, as far as, just inventing things. But we established civilizations and had so many sophisticated civilizations established long before the Europeans. So it's just a matter of ignorance, taking the time to look and see what was done versus looking at what you see today as far as the stereotypes that the media want to perpetuate, black people as being and doing versus, our real history. So if you want to just say black people are violent, we don't do nothing, we lazy or what have you, and stick with that, that's you. That's what you chose to do instead of going to go look at, the reason why things look the way it is. Clearly the media wants to paint a picture of how black people look and how we are, what have you, but that's not our history. That's not what we have done on this planet. We've done a lot. We've built a lot. And the knowledge that the Europeans have for what they've done came from African people. Again, you don't see your Renaissance. You don't see any of these eras or periods from Europeans until conquest. The question is, what was there before? Who did they conquer? What did they conquer? What was there? They built a lot of their stuff on top of our shit that was already there. And then they knocked down, monuments and structures of, African people, when they came in after they conquered. It's a whole book on this, the destruction of black civilization. There is so many, documented sites and documented structures to show you what we built, and people just have no clue, and they don't want to have a clue because they choose to remain ignorant for whatever reason. So the whole thing is out that we're just history jacking, and we just trying to culture vultures or what have you, which is so crazy to hear that when you're a conscious black person, for somebody to say culture vulture to a black person when you wouldn't be talking the way you talk. You wouldn't be looking the way you look. Society wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for black people. Not for just the fact that we built this country, but for the fact that our culture, our slang, the way we are is the way people act. It's what people are using. If you call yourself cool or consider yourself hip in America or anywhere, you are that way because of black people. You got to think about that. You got to look at that and say, how is it that this hip hop culture is taking over everything? The coolness of movies, the coolness of social media, clothing, everything has its dealings in hip hop culture and just that slang, that style. It has contributed so much to, society as far as in a cultural way, in a way that we communicate, in a way that we walk and talk or what have you. That is the good thing that has been taken out of hip hop as far as our way of communicating and, just being and expressing ourselves in whatever way. For whatever reason, it's just everybody's getting the goodness out of hip hop culture, and black people, the people who are responsible for the culture, the people who are pushing the culture, is receiving the back end, the hard end, the worst from the culture. So yeah, white people and everybody else can go out there and dress hip hop and, speak a certain way and act cool or what have you, and they're fine. They can go back and, live their life and do what they're doing, and that community is okay. But the black community is being destroyed by it. Everybody is marching, saying Black Lives Matter, Hispanic, Asian, white, what have you. Everybody's been looking over the last few years at what's been happening to black people, and it's not hitting them, the majority of them, as to the reason why. I mean, just look at it. For the history that you see of African Americans, of black people in this country, you don't sit back and just say, wow, why do they have it so bad? Why is this system, this country, putting them down so much, so hard? And then you look at the contributions that we give as far as the culture, the contributions we give just entertainment wise. And it's like, why can't these people get ahead? There is something you're missing. And that's the thing. It's a reason why we look this way. It's the reason why you think that black people is good for nothing but selling drugs and killing each other, what have you, and why you believe that we haven't contributed anything to society, globally. And when you actually go and do the research, you see that, well, wait a minute, it's a lot we contributed. And it's like, well, why hasn't this stuff been brought up? Why haven't we been taught this stuff in school? So yeah, I wanted to put this out real quick because a couple people said they would go and check out my channel. Yeah, you're welcome to do so. There's a lot of videos on here. But yeah, before you judge or say what have you, and it wasn't really to debate. It's just, we're upset about what we're seeing and how hard people are going for this Egypt thing, because that's what started all this. Black fucking people are the original people in Egypt. Egypt is in Africa. It's common sense. There's a thing called conquest. You don't think that, when they conquered Spain and conquered all these other places in Europe and the Americas, what have you, you think they left Egypt out? Egypt was one of the original places they conquered. We can look and see clear as day, they conquered it. And white folks are not there today because guess what? They can't survive there. The sun tearing their ass up. They can't survive there. And they don't want us to have it. They don't want African people to have Egypt, so much so that they let the Arabs in. Please name me something that Arabs conquered and took away from the white man that first belonged to the white man. Plain and simple. You think if they conquered Egypt away from the Romans that they would still have it this day? You don't think that at some point they would take that land back if it was theirs? It wasn't theirs. They conquered it from African people. So it's a lot of people pushing real hard on this Egypt thing, and I just don't understand it. And this common sense, it just makes me believe that when they click Google and type in something, they get a completely different fucking, round of information than we are, because they must be looking at shit that tells them everything they believe is right. It's just simple. If you just do the research, you can clearly see what's going on and what took place. If you really look for the information that you talk about, you'll get the truth if you want to find the truth. It's just that simple. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Make sure you guys take advantage of the Never Pay Again membership with the flash drive and grab it before it's gone. It's a lot of people that hit me up about it. As I said, I'll keep it going. It's still up there. Make sure you guys take advantage. A lot of videos coming up. So yeah, see you next video.